Back to life? Here's part 2 of Laura Marquez's report.
Now, is this the main street here?
This is Adams Street, yes.
Okay.
Nick Fantasia is the mayor of Fairmont, West Virginia, in the heart of coal country. His grandfather immigrated from Italy to work in the mines.
The original City Bank building is over here in Harvey's building.
As the industry took off in the mid-1900s, so did the town's economy. During the recessions of the 70s and 80s, demand for coal dropped and the industry went into decline. The lucrative jobs left, and so did thousands of residents.
Well, as a result of the downturn in the economy, the men's shops, the ladies' shops, the different stores that were a part of this block all disappeared.
Boarded up storefronts replaced the once bustling stores. One of the holdouts, this family-owned furniture store.
We made the investment, and it's once you make that investment, you either give up or you keep going, and we weren't ready to give up, so we just kept going. So,
did things get a little difficult for you?
Very difficult.
Did you ever at one time consider closing?
Thought about moving, thought about relocating to Florida, someplace where the economy was better, but our ties are here, so we stayed here.
Along comes Harvey and Ed, who have put together a very successful office supply company.
Harvey Havlicek bought a couple of the abandoned buildings and renovated them in hopes of making downtown Fairmont vibrant again.
I can remember coming up and down Main Street with my parents and not being able to go a block without meeting 10 or 15 people that you knew. And downtown was booming.
Okay, we need to do that.
We'll get it.
Okay, let's see you.
Fairmont's mayor doesn't expect his town to ever return to those glory days. Back then, there were 10,000 mine workers in the surrounding county. Now that number has dropped to 1,000. But for the first time in decades, mines are reopening.
Are you surprised to see the resurgence of the coal industry?
Shocked. I really am. I never thought in my lifetime I would see news articles about shortages of coal mines and shortages of coal and shortages of coal miners. I never, in my wildest dreams, thought I would ever see that in my lifetime.
As the fortunes of the coal companies rise and fall, so does the quality of life in the communities that surround the coal mines. With the industry currently in an upswing, coal mining towns are hoping for a boom in business.
If the dollar turns in your community, if they buy a boat, maybe the guy that's selling the boat will buy office supplies from us.
I think many people today would be surprised to know that 51% of the nation's electricity is generated from coal.
The U.S. Department of Energy projects the energy needs for the United States will increase by 24% over the next decade. And more of that burden will fall on coal as oil and gas prices continue to rise, in part because of the recent hurricanes. Professor Jim Dean believes coal is not only a cheaper alternative, but a safer one.
I'm still old enough to remember 3 Mile Island, and I'll be honest with you, nuclear industry scares me. I'm not sure that that's something I want to go to meet the country's electricity needs.
While mining is still a dark and dirty job that takes a lot of physical labor, it's become much more technologically advanced in recent years. This computer above ground allows energy companies to monitor what's going on 800 feet below.
There's approximately 2 miles of underground belt lines which feed an underground bunker which holds...
New technology also means fewer workers are needed to mine coal than just a generation ago. But half the workforce is at or nearing retirement age, resulting in a huge push by the industry to hire replacements. The United Mine Workers of America already is gearing up to ensure the majority of these new workers remain in the union. They want to remind incoming young hires of the battles the older generations fought to make mines safer, the debilitating strikes in which some union members gave their lives to the cause. The UMWA doesn't want to see those sacrifices forgotten by energy companies that hope to save money by keeping the union out.
They take a position that unions are not needed, that if something would happen to the mine workers, we would continue to operate these mines safely. We don't believe that in a heartbeat. We know that that's not the truth. We know that if it wasn't for the mine workers, we would go back in a day where they would do what they want.
Clearly, the futures of the mine workers and the people who live in the surrounding towns are tied to the survival of the coal industry.
I think coal mining is very important. I mean, when people turn on their lights at night, they don't realize where the power is coming from, I'm sure.
Right here.
And right here is what does all that work.
I'm Laura Marquez for Nightline in Fairmont, West Virginia.
When we return, his father, grandfather, and great-grandfather were all coal miners, and so was he. A conversation with the president of the United Mine Workers in a moment.